So I think I'm pretty sure that I can officially say, I believe, maybe, I'd have to give it a little bit more thought. But that we're, all of, the beast rising for sure already happened. So we're at, the very end of Revelations. So what I was trying to think is, because I've thought we're either right before the millennial kingdom or we're past the millennial kingdom and it happened, and I don't know, maybe that's why the Vatican changed our calendar, and people say you're such a conspiracy theorist. So I said that Constantine the Great, everybody loves to say, oh no, he became Christian. No, he just wanted to control Christianity. There's been, I'm not just making that up, there's been reports about it. But then there's just something more that, so, how they had thrown Christians to the lions, and like in the Colosseum. Well, they really never did that. Well, not in the Colosseum, but they did do it, especially under Nero, Emperor Nero. They did do it under him in a place called Circus of Nero. So I showed this the other day, and I think they're telling the truth for sure, that they built their church on top of Peter's bones. And that's why I said, no, they took that literally, even though God didn't. When he told Peter, he knew that the wicked would take that literally, and think that meant you should build your damn structure on top of Peter's bones after you kill him. But that's a pretty big structure, right? I mean, this was the first St. Peter's Basilica, and it's like, it's just, the layout is just so strange. And, just all of it, is weird. It's, it's on top of a cemetery, and then also it's actually, where Nero's circus was, where they would throw Christians to the lions and, the games kind of thing, in mass numbers. So obviously this at the bottom here is the new St. Peter's, yeah. And so then you have, the reason I came upon this is because when I was reading about the original St. Peter Basilica, which that was pretty much like this right here, it's a strange structure, isn't it? And it's so big, it was used for so many different events. Yeah, I mean, Constantine for pilgrimages to come in from all over, and then, some of those pilgrimages went missing. Yeah. So, but, because it was the medieval and dark ages, there's really not a whole lot of records, except they do know that, pilgrimages went missing. Mm-hmm. But this was so big, it's like it's just humongous. And this was somebody that took pictures of it, at some point from different angles. And, it's just like, it sort of looks like a prison in a way. It doesn't, but, that's the Dark Ages. I'm sure it's nothing. It is the first church, right? So here's, that one, but you could see up here, that's just, it's an odd structure, isn't it? I mean, just, like, it seems like it has such symbolism. I'm not sure if it's to Christianity, but definitely to something. Oh, we can't miss that, like on the, top of it. And yeah, can't miss that. I mean, because that's that thing's in Washington too, D.C. And that's just another angle, what I was pointing to there. So it's just an odd structure, is it not? And given that it was pretty much on or right next to where Nero, who was persecuting and killing Christians, and I think that it would be safe to say likely Constantine was too. Because the most deceptive thing the wicked one would do is say, we're Christian. Again, this is why Jesus was warning you about the wolves in sheep's clothing. Not because he wanted you to worry about the Muslims. I mean, I'm not saying they may team up with, that's not, no, you need to understand it's the beast. Not was, is. nothing to be scared of here. It just freaked me out because I'm like, oh, I mean, I almost felt sick because when you look into it, pilgrimages did go missing, but because they didn't keep records back then, and they were never found. And it's like, what a thing to do if you're already coming from the pagan practices, of course, and you want to continue your pagan practices, and you dress yourself up, like the ridiculous things they dress themselves up as, and it's like, then you get people to come to you. And this is another angle from it, and I don't, if you, it's like big ramps, or it looks like a big prison, and they could change altars out and the lighting. I mean, they really went all out back then, and you just think, wow. And yet there were people that questioned, because, that why would you do this? Well, one, where a bunch of cemetery bones were, because Nero and many of the Roman Empire, this is the Nero Circus is where a ton of Christian carcasses went. And then that's where Peter died. I mean, at first I didn't know if they were really telling the truth. No, they are, except that they know that they did this to mock God. I mean, I said recently, I said in the last week or so, I said that they have that Vatican has already been judged. There's no repenting. You might think, how could you say, no, there isn't. They were judged long before I was born. While they deceive everyone and say they're Christian. I understand there's innocent people. Please don't mix it up here. So they literally did a whole, kind of shrine, not even a shrine, just it's strange with the whole, what they were doing with, all based on, Peter's bones. Yeah, so this was excavations. It's like an altar. So I'm going to show you what it all is. So sanctuary floor, the altar I just showed you right there, okay? Okay, this Constantine, and then you see in the red where St. Peter's bones are. Now, I know you can't really see, but I'm going to be zooming in on that. It's a throne. I mean, where Constantine, or where they would sit. I mean, well, Constantine built this. So just so we can remember the Bible describes the beast or Antichrist as one who will take his seat in the temple of God. Peter was the temple. Because again, it was about the heart. So they built their abomination on Peter, literally on Peter, and many other Christians. But the Catholic Church loves to say that, well, no, we're the first church because Jesus told Peter, it is on you, Peter, that I will build my church, and that gates of hell will not come against it. They love to say that. Well, God is going to come against them. I mean, it's going to be like nothing they've ever seen. Nothing. God himself will. So what I'm trying to say is that all happened already. Because when you take your seat, okay, here's the chair of St. Peter, okay? In your whole temple, your diseased temple is on the bones of Peter. You know what you did. You know what you did. So we're either in the small season of the beast, when the millennial kingdom had already happened before we were born, and God's been letting the beast run to see if people are still going to be deceived, or we're past all of it, and at any moment, well, it's open the books. And just in case people want to doubt that that's the beast that's controlled the whole world, if they can control America, then guess what? It's the beast that controls the world.